Hi guys, and welcome back to Tech Tips from Butler High School's Tech Talks this year, and Happy New Year. This is Stephanie Fair, your Tech Facilitator, and it's that time of year again to start creating review quizzes, and I'm going to show you how to use the test banks in Canvas. So you're going to start with going to your Canvas page and then clicking on Quizzes. What you need to know is once you're on your Canvas page and in quizzes, that Canvas has been collecting all your data and all your questions from each quiz as you go. So this is really helpful if you have a PLC sandbox where you've been creating all your quizzes, because now all your test questions are together and you guys can start organizing them. And just to remind you, once you're on your quiz page, if you click the cogwheel in the top right hand corner, you can go to Manage Question Banks and you can see all your question banks. So I have two, one from an import in August and one from my original class with 342 questions that I did in May. So I can click either one of these to start to organize my test banks. I can either add a test bank and then move my questions. So for example, maybe I want test 1 to be a question bank and I can add those. Or I can go into outcomes. If you'll look at a future video, it'll explain outcomes. And I can put in the standards for my course and then align each of my questions to that standard. So that way when the students take a test, it's going to tell me real quickly whether or not the student has mastered the standard or not based on whether or not they answer my questions correctly. What else I like about outcomes is they don't have to just apply to quizzes and questions. I can apply them to any assignment that I put into Canvas. So for example, if I want to see why my student has failed to master standard 1 or outcome 1, I can look at all the assignments for outcome 1 and see that maybe he or she did not complete any of the assignments for outcome 1, hence they failed all the questions on the quiz for outcome 1. So that's really powerful. So this is something as you move into second semester you might want to start to do. Edit your question banks, add your questions, move your questions, and make banks so that you can start to organize all your questions. Now what I want to show you is how to take these quizzes and make review quizzes for your students to work on. The first thing you're going to do is click to make a new quiz, call it what you like. So in this case, I'm going to call my quiz Review Questions from a Test Bank. I'll fill in my details just like I would any other time as a teacher, whether or not I want to go to Power School, if I want to set a time limit, allow multiple attempts, etc. And I'm going to click the Questions tab. Now here would be where I would click Add a New Question and start typing my questions. But remember, Canvas has already saved all my questions. So what I can do is click Find Questions now. And when I click Find Questions, there are question banks that are already out there for the world to see. But if I come down, I'll see my unfilled question banks. I simply click my unfilled question banks, either select all the questions or select the ones I want to see on my test, and then go all the way to the bottom and click Add those questions. Now, all my questions in my bank are there for me to use over and over and over and over again in multiple ways on different quizzes. The other thing that I like to do as a teacher that was really great when it came time to review is, and this is completely up to you, but it was a real easy and quick way to help students review. Right now, all my quizzes were open, but they were locked at a certain date and time and with a password and so on and so forth. So when it came time for my students to start reviewing for the test and the exams, what I did is I went through each of my quizzes and then I edited my details page. I took off that it would go to Power School. I left that it would shuffle. I allowed multiple attempts and the highest score. I took off everything so they were wide open, including the due dates. So that way my students, and actually I locked the available from and until, I locked it before the exam. And I opened them all the way up. And I told my students, I'm not going to allow retest or anything else, but I'm going to give you all the test bank, all the test questions and quizzes. If this is the way you want to review, you can take my quizzes over and over and over again until the exam. Again, this is something that depending on you as a teacher, you may or may not want to do, because now it's all on Canvas. So now you have all that flexibility. You can go in and create another review quiz based on questions that you've already made, or you can open up the quizzes that you have previously given your students to allow them to review again. So I hope this helps you as you wind down your semester and you prepare for your exams. Have a great day.